Hey guys, what's up? JK here. Just got back from the gym and I wanted to share a thought with you just based on a couple of things that have been going on in the group and a couple of emails that I've been receiving. And I think this would be a good time to kind of clarify some important concepts, okay? And this has to do with emotion. So it is a fact that men who struggle with an out of control behavior with pornography are medicating some emotions with pornography. Many of these emotions are emotions that I say are frozen, which means that at a certain point in your life, you were feeling a strong emotion, you didn't have coping strategies to deal with that strong emotion, and so you just watched porn and masturbated to deal with that emotion. And if that was something that happened to you when you're a teenager and you're now in your late 20s, or if that was something that happened to you in your early to mid 20s and you're now in your 40s or late 30s, however, how old you are, that emotion is not an emotion that you've dealt with. You're still using pornography to cope with it. However, the fact that you have very strong emotions really has nothing to do with moving forward in life, right? And again, I've spoken about the type A man and the type B man. And I'm going to kind of emphasize one core difference between both types of men. And the type B man is a man who is really ruled by his emotions. At some level, you believe that your emotions stop you from doing things. So you're the type of man who wakes up in the morning and you say, oh man, I feel sad and depressed, so I just didn't get shit done. Or I didn't do things to completion. I didn't finish a project. I didn't interact with people the way that I should have. And that was just because I was emotional. And you have the type A man. The type A man is a man who wakes up in the morning and regardless of how he feels, he gets shit done. He does the things that he needs to do. And it is very possible to feel an emotion and not let that emotion rule your life. You can literally be aware of an emotion. I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel depressed. I feel demotivated. Whatever the emotion is, you can feel that emotion and still move on with your life. This is how life works. I believe it's important for men to set up their life in a way in which you are happy, or rather you are happiest. But chasing happiness doesn't have to be an ultimate goal, right? Being fulfilled, in my opinion, is sometimes the best that many men are going to get. And that's okay, right? You know, when you think of our evolution as human beings, right? Do you truly feel, and this is a question to you, right? Because I don't have the answers to anything, or rather to everything, excuse me. I have the answers to some things, but not to everything. And I want you to ask yourself, did we evolve as human beings to be happy? Right? Or is the unsettling reality that we evolved to be as fulfilled as we could be? And that suffering and pain and negative emotions are very much a part of our life from when we are born till the day we die. And perhaps fulfillment or even happiness comes from truly accepting this and being able to do what we need to do despite our emotions, right? That is something to consider. And that's been the way I've tried to live my life since I was 21 years old. And for those of you who are wondering, I'm in my mid-30s now, right? So that's how I've tried to live my life. And I believe some brothers out there believe that if they end their behavior with pornography, that somehow they're going to feel less negative emotions. You're not, right? Life is still going to suck. I still have days where I feel like crap from the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed, with some bright spots in between. The difference between you and me is that I still do the things I need to do, right? I can't tell my clients that, guys, I didn't show up today because I was just feeling unmotivated. I have shit to do. I'm a grown-ass man. I have responsibilities. I get shit done. Many times, I don't feel like going to this morning. I could have stayed at home. I could have stayed in bed. I could have started working, but I went to the gym. It doesn't matter how I feel. It's a commitment I made with myself. And so I go. And I don't go hoping that at the end of it, I'm going to be filled with endorphins. Most of the time I am. But there are also other times where I just finished working out in the gym and I feel nothing. I don't feel great. I just feel exhausted and tired. And my brain is thinking, fuck, oh man, this is going to be a rough day. Right? But I still show up and do the things that I need to do. My point is, brothers, you can feel negative emotions. Just get to a point, or aim to get to a point where you can act despite them. If not, you're going to stay stuck being a type B man, which means that instead of accepting certain negative emotions, developing coping strategies for them, or learning how to simply observe them and move on and do what you need to do, you're going to end up running away from them. And that's what many of you are doing. Many of you are just running away from discomfort. Many of you are watching YouTube videos and following influencers and all these other personalities who are basically feeding you this belief that there is some form of happiness that is permanent to be gained by, ending your behavior with pornography or thinking a certain way. The only thing that's going to happen at the end of this journey, and take it from someone who's been there, the only thing that's going to happen is that you're going to experience less suffering. That's about it. Now you're experiencing more suffering, but you're going to experience less suffering, but the suffering is not going to go away, right? For a short period of time, some areas of your life are going to seem much better because they've been terrible for years, right? Maybe when your shame is reduced, some areas are going to be much better because you can start talking to women again. You can express yourself. I'll tell you this much. Over a decade ago, I would say about 15 years ago, there's no way I would have been able to express myself freely and talk about my porn addiction, my erections, all the things that other people would consider embarrassing stuff to share online. But I share them anyway because I don't have shame about them, right? And if I do experience shame, I quickly confront it. Which means, in essence, if I'm not doing an exercise to confront it, I'm like, fuck it. I'm still going to say what I need to say. I'm still going to do the things that need to be done despite the shame, right? So before this becomes a ramble, brothers, your emotions they don't have to hold you back, right? You can wake up and you can get shit done, right? Now, some brothers are probably wondering, saying, okay, JK, that sounds great and all, but what if my emotions are causing me to slip? That's fine. If you're in our system, I've said it again and I'll keep saying it. Once you start understanding that, yeah, my emotions are something that cause me to slip, I need to develop coping skills, then start developing coping strategies. You are going to find over time, as you use these coping strategies, that you're going to be able to, in some cases, process the emotion and then still move on. In some cases, you're going to process the emotion and you're going to slip. But eventually, you're going to get to a point where that emotion is just not something that has a huge impact on you. In the past, you would slip to it. Let me give you an example. Let's say, I'll use myself as an example. I used to get really, really angry. And I would have a lot of repressed anger. And I would believe that, you know what, if I don't control my anger, I can't go out and, this was when I was selling door to door, I can't go out and visit with my clients. So I would tell people, I just had to calm down, man. I had to calm down because if not, I'm liable to say something fucked up to somebody. And I picked this up from watching other people do that. Not really because I needed to calm down. The truth is, if I was put in front of an important customer, I would know that I couldn't act angry. Think about it. Whatever strong emotion you're feeling, right? There is somebody of importance to you that if they showed up in front of you, you couldn't afford to show that emotion. And you wouldn't. But other people you would. Other people whom you take for granted, you'd show your emotion. But other people show up, you're like, oh, how are you doing? I'm good. You will act and do what is needed, what you need to do, despite the emotion. But I used to experience a lot of anger. And I got to a point where, I would use coping strategies, which include tools, to deal with my anger. But eventually I got to a point where I would be angry, I would be aware of the anger wouldn't cause me to slip anymore, and I'd be able to go knock on somebody's door. The anger was there, but on the surface, I was smiling, I was talking to this person, I did my job, and over time, the anger passed. Before that, I would get upset, I would get angry, I would sit, I would ruminate over the issue, and then I would have to medicate it because it had just gone overboard. So many times, brothers, you just have to take action, right? Taking action and moving in spite of the emotion. It doesn't mean the emotion disappears immediately, but it just shows you and proves to you that the emotion is temporary, all right? So brothers, that's it, okay? That's just my thought for the day. I hope that helps some of you who are struggling with strong emotions. I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later on in the week. Bye.